Hello, thanks so much for joining us once again. We are have the pleasure of meeting with Allison Kierman with Kierman Law. We did a interview with her, a while back now, that really covered kind of the basics of trust and wills and why you need them and all of that fun stuff. So definitely go back and check that one out. Today we're hoping to cover more of kind of the top 5 things that you need to know about wills and trusts, or things that you maybe not know or need to know about or need to ask when you are in the process of forming one. So we are so glad that you are here to help us out with this. It's such an important topic. And again, hopefully if you watched the first blog and you put it on your to-do list and haven't done it yet, this is a good reminder to put it back on the top of your to-do list because it is so important. So thanks so much for joining us. So just as a refresher, what is the difference between a trust and a will?
So a will is something you create now that applies to your life. I sort of view it as a funnel. We're going to put all your assets in, and then the funnel says who gets what, when, and under what circumstances. Okay. So it's a very comprehensive tool. A will is a little bit simpler. A will says this is who gets to take care of my minor children, and this is who inherits. Okay. So it's a very simple document.
Okay. So, and I know there's different tax consequences with both types of documents as well. So that's definitely a conversation that you'd want to have with clients to determine what their needs are, what their intended goal of creating a will or trust is. And is it common that people have both a will and a trust, or that they just form one or the other?
So people who have a trust often do have a will. It's a different type of will to sort of complement the trust. If you have just a regular will, last will, and testament, usually it's just the one document.
Okay, very good to know. So why is it so important that people have a trust versus just a will?
I always think about it like goals. What is your goal? And then let's match the document with the goal. If the goal is you want to avoid probate, or you just want to make things as easy as possible for your family or your friends after you pass, you need a trust.
Okay.
Right? That's time and money now. You are doing the hard part. If you don't care, right? Your family has plenty of money. They already know lawyers. They can go through probate. Then I would just do a will, right? So it really is about goals. If you want to make sure you don't pay taxes, you need a trust. That's the only way to avoid that.
Okay.
If you have minor children and you want to make sure they don't get too much money too early in life, you need a trust. This could be same if you have older children who also aren't responsible with money. A trust just has so many more tools to protect the assets from creditors and taxes, and even from bad choices people make.
That's awesome. So yeah, I can't imagine too many people fall into the category of having too much money and would like their family to have to endure probate.
I'm constantly surprised, right?
Okay.
So I say there's no judgment. I definitely have some clients who are like, oh, my family will figure it out later, which is fine. I can help them also. Okay. But it's so much easier for you to put in the effort now. It's cheaper, it's simpler, and it's more comprehensive.
Well, I like that the aspect of a trust that where you can put stipulations on how people can receive the money, or when they can receive it. I know, like in my particular trust, that financial acuity classes are required before any distributions are made, and so you can make those kind of stipulations just to make sure that once you don't just all this hard work that I've worked, to build our real estate investments, or to build, our wherever we are wealth wise, just to go up in smoke if it gets distributed incorrectly or too quickly.
No, you're absolutely right. I think the things that people need to think about is your goal legacy wealth, right? You've worked hard. The income from the investments in the real estate can support your next generation, and it can support even their next generation, right? So if you're thoughtful about it, the money can really last for a very long time.
I like that legacy wealth concept. I like that. That's very cool. So how do people determine, or how is a trust administered both now and later, and how is that kind of all set up?
So usually if everybody's in good health, the people who create the trust administer it, okay, right? So like you and your husband would administer your trust now. You can buy and sell property, open and close accounts, save or spend money, disinherit the kids or not. You have complete freedom. Okay. I think once people become incapacitated or even just older, you start to add somebody else in to administer it now. So I have a lot of clients where maybe husband passed away and wife just wants help, and so we'll add in a child, so they'll together administer things.
Okay.
After both people pass, then you have choices, right? It could be your children, it could be other family members, it could be a third party, right? So you can get a professional to administer the trust for you. That's usually used if we're worried kids are going to be fighting,
Sure.
or if we really need to make sure that the kids are not irresponsible with the money.
Okay, that makes sense. And so that's another good reason to be reviewing your trust every year to determine that you still want the people that you've assigned for that role later on in that role.
Absolutely. I find people who do the trust when their kids are young, 20 years later, they don't even have a relationship with these people anymore. They're
Right.
like, oh, we need to change that, right?
Yes.
So it is interesting as life changes, your documents need to change also.
Yes, absolutely. And and again, it's one of those things you check it off the list. It's not necessarily a check off. It's like, okay, put it back on the calendar for next year to just review.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. So what type of property can go into a trust?
So almost anything can go into a trust, right? So your real estate, your business interests, your 401k, your bank accounts, everything that you have, we want it to be connected to the trust somehow.
Okay.
It definitely can get more complicated than that, right? But the key is to work out those kinks. Again, I think of it as a funnel. Somehow we want to put everything in. This is what makes it easy if something happens to you. Then the kids know what they're getting and how to find it, and the administration is simple.
So that could be if something wasn't included in the trust, it could have to go through probate.
It could.
Okay.
Yes.
It wasn't included. Okay. So it's
But
good to
that's
kind of
also why
review.
you check in over time to
Yes.
make sure that you're shoring up those loose ends as you do additional investments.
Well, and I think it also creates a great opportunity to kind of create, maybe like a binder or a cheat sheet of what your assets are and what you have, so that it is again easier once you do pass, for your family that's left. So
Absolutely. And even families have relationship responsibilities. Not everybody does everything.
right.
So sometimes the master list is really just for your spouse. So they remember, oh, we made this investment.
Right.
We have this property management company, right? What are the things we need to handle? It's just good bookkeeping.
Absolutely. I'd lost my mom when I was younger, and then that was over 25 years ago, and we still haven't gone through all the paperwork. So we did have a trust, but yeah, there's still, it's like I have something like, oh, maybe there were funds there that we didn't know about that, my father could have taken advantage of. But, so there's different things that,
Right.
To really have that organization in place to make sure that, things don't get lost in the mix. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So why should you put your house into a trust? I think we kind of covered that, but your house, your physical house that you live in should be included in that.
All your property needs to
Okay.
go in. I actually had a call today from another lawyer in South California, and he said he has a client and they have 10 properties all in their trust, and there was one random outlier in Arizona, so we have to probate it. It's definitely simpler when you have a trust. Clearly, they can afford it with all their other properties.
Right.
So it's something that they have to do, right? So you're putting it in the trust just so you don't have to go through probate. I mean, other reasons people put it in the trust often is if you want to let someone live in your house, but they don't own it. So this happens a lot with second relationships, right? Or multiple marriages or blended families,
Sure.
where you want the spouse to be able to live there, but it's not her house. She can't sell it. Other opportunities for putting it in the trust, we hear a lot right now about deed fraud.
Yes.
People trying to transfer property fraudulently. A trust gives you greater protection. It's less likely that you can commit deed fraud when a house is in a trust.
Oh, that's interesting. I think that's a great tip. That should be motivation for everybody. If nothing else has motivated you, that's a good one.
Right. No one wants their house stolen for that.
Yes, I just heard a story on the news probably a couple weeks ago about that happening, and I'm like, it just seems so surreal that could even be a thing, and it's crazy that it is happening. So, I think obviously identity thefts or thieves are getting much craftier and about what they're doing and how they're trying to steal our stuff. So I think whatever we can do to protect ourselves is pretty crucial. So
right, the internet is good and bad.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, yes. I think we can definitely all agree to that. So, so what else? Is there any kind of closing or anything other important kind of things that you think we should know?
I mean, I think for everything, it's all about being thoughtful, right? You have to know who you trust with your money. You have to be honest about your family and if they are financially responsible. To be honest about your relationships, right? You may feel like I don't want to disinherit someone or not include them, but Do we have a relationship? Is it a positive relationship? These are hard talks you have to have with yourself, with your partner, with your attorney, just so that your trust really encompasses your goals.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think we spoke last time about how, kind of death can sometimes bring the worst in people. Absolutely. And the greed and kind of sprouts out. So, but having everything clear cut with your objectives and your wishes written clearly, so that there are no questions, I think can help eliminate those fights and battles after the fact. So
absolutely.
Well, very good. Well, definitely, again, make an appointment, get this off of your to-do list, talk to Allison, and get your trust or will made. But thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you have a small business that you would like featured on our website, please reach out. Thanks so much.